Okay, I'm Mrs. Estevill Perez, and I'm going to teach you how to go through the 5-step process of doing an Achieve 3000 article. Now, once you get in, your assigned articles are going to be on the front page. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go through this particular article where it says Small Town, Big Hearts. All right, and notice how underneath the title it gives me a little summary. It says, in a time when many small town stores are losing customers to big box stores, residents of Chagrin Falls, Ohio came together to show support for a local business. It's really important that you read that little summary because it'll help you once you start the lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Start Lesson. All right, and you're going to notice that when you open up your article, you have 5 steps that you're going to complete today. Step 1 is a before you read poll. Step 2 is the article. Step 3 is the activity. Those are the multiple choice questions. 4 is the after you read poll. And 5 is a thought question. Anything after 5 is completely optional. You might use the stretch article and the stretch activity because those are at grade level. Whereas the article that you as a student are going to see, that's going to be at your reading level. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my poll. All right, and let's look at our poll question. It says, in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, residents decided to shop at a small hardware store instead of a big box store, even though they would be paying more for their purchases. What do you think? Getting the cheapest price should be a consumer's first priority? Agree or disagree? So this is the question I'm answering. And I'm going to say, I agree. Okay. So my explanation is that I live on a budget. Looking for the cheapest price is very important to me. You're going to notice that I have a submit button. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. They receive my vote, press OK, and then I will continue on to the article. When you open up the article for the first time, you're going to see some vocabulary pop up, okay, on the screen. I would take advantage of it, read through the vocabulary first. Now, since I had already clicked on the article, that went away. However, if you look down here on the side, you're going to notice that you still have the vocabulary. All right, a little glossary is still there, okay, along with a couple of extra things like a map, a puzzle, and a rubric. If you look through the vocab, you're going to notice that you have some play buttons. If you click on play, it will read the definition and it will also pronounce the word for you as well. Another cool feature about Achieve 3000, if your teacher has it activated, you can listen to the article. So you'll see this top area in the toolbar has a play button, a stop button, and something that looks kind of like a speedometer in your car. That'll read the article at a particular speed. So if I click, okay. Now, another cool feature is these little blue buttons in between each paragraph. While you're reading the article, you can take notes. So I can click on that and I can add a summary. Just press the plus sign, type something in there. If you don't click on save, all of that stuff that you've typed will go away. You can highlight. So let's say I want to highlight this in blue. First I have to highlight it with my mouse. Click on the blue highlighter and there it is. This other feature here, whatever I've highlighted will appear in a little document. Regular document, you can print it out, you can copy and paste it. So we're going to pretend like we've just read the entire article and we're going to move on to our activity questions. So once you click on activity, you can do it from the tab, by the way, or to do it from the little arrow at the bottom. Now, the reason why there is an arrow is because this particular article happens to have 2 pages. If you want to know whether an article has 2 pages, at the top, they usually mention it. It'll say page 1 and 2. And once you're done reading, you can then click on activity, and it will take you straight to the activity questions. Now, on a typical Achieve article, there's going to be 8 multiple choice questions. And if you ever want to know which question you're on, it does say it at the bottom. And then you can also click on refer to article. And a little pop-up will appear with the article, which is incredibly useful because you can read, okay, while you are answering the questions and scan for answers, etc. So take advantage of the fact that you can look at the article at the same time. Okay. Now, once you are done with the questions, you're going to notice that these, by the way, the questions, it always gives you 2 times to answer them. So let's say I get the first question wrong. I'm just going to choose something at random. And notice how this button appears. It says try again. So it'll give me a second chance to answer. Now the problem with that is that when I'm grading you, I'm only going to look at the first time. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's say I've answered all of these questions. And I have this open in a different tab. All right. Achieve is going to give me this little chart at the end. And it's going to tell me how many questions I got correct, how many questions I got incorrect. The column I'm going to be looking at for your grade is this first try column. So notice how when I did this, I only got 25%. That's not good. My second try, I did better. I got 63. But, you know, that's not really going to help me in the real world. So I'm only going to look at that first column. Okay. Now, when you're done with this, you're going to click on After Reading Poll. And they're going to ask you the same poll question just to see if you've changed your mind. That's for me. Okay, I'm going to press OK. And then it's going to take me onto your the thought question. Now, thought question is incredibly important. Writing is very important. In order to respond to this, there's two things that you need to do. You need to read the writing prompt at the top. You also need to read this little button right here where it says include your answer. It's going to make this little thing pop up. You need to read through this very carefully and find out exactly what you need to do. So for this particular writing prompt, I need to make sure that my answer has 3 to 4 paragraphs, that I introduce my topic, that I develop the topic, that I use transitions, that I establish and maintain a formal style, all right, and that I provide a concluding statement, basically a conclusion, okay? And I also have to use particular vocabulary words like choice and price. Okay, so once you're done typing, I have two choices. I can finish it later, it'll just save it, or I can submit it right away. If you click on finish later, the teacher will never see it. If you click on submit, the teacher can see it. So make sure you choose wisely. All right, that's pretty much it. Once you click on submit, it'll give you a thank you, and then you can move on to the next thing, which is the poll results. So if you're curious, you can see how other people voted. There is some other buttons. Obviously, it's going to take me to a math question. I don't have to do that because I'm in a reading class. And notice how I've already finished the first 5 tabs. And that's usually what you need to do in the 5-step process for Achieve. All right, so we're going to end this right here. Have a great day.